Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the swamp. A big welcome to my guest, Andrew.
Georgia.
I'm Giorgio.
There
Thank you. Every time I
you
get ready to say it, it's like hard G, soft G.
go.
I can't remember which one it is. I'm
Hey,
terrible
Sharon.
with names anyway. So, hello, Andrew. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
How you doing?
Andrew is the creator and founder of Andro+Niki products, which y'all have all heard me talk about ad nauseum because I love it so much. It's you get a base moisturizer, you get these great little vials with the serums that you can mix and match and however you want to use it. And I love this stuff. I really do. That's why I talk
Thank
about it
you,
all the
Sharon.
time.
Thank you
And
so much.
um, and I was so excited the last time Andrew agreed to come on. I didn't think that was going to be possible, and I'm glad he's back. And so, kind of fill us in on what's been happening, where you're going
Well,
from here, and all
Sherry,
that fun stuff.
thanks for inviting me back today. It's been quite a whirlwind since the last time I was on your show.
Lots of stuff
Uh,
has happened.
yeah, lots of stuff has happened. It's been an amazing journey. One of those journeys was we completely sold out in June, completely unexpected. Also, we sold out what we expected to be 9 months of supply in 4 months, and of course, I panicked because because you
Who
know
wouldn't?
right, and selling out has its troubles because now we've got to get inventory replenished, and that can be a challenge in and of itself. But the other challenge was that we had sold out all over the website. I had put 4 weeks back order, sold out completely. You're going to have to wait 4 weeks, and people kept buying.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not even normal. What is going on?
Because when it's
So
the right product at the right time, it's going to sell. And when it's as well made as yours is and as well researched and determined what works and what doesn't work, that makes a huge difference. George Carlin was famous for saying, you can nail two things together that have never been nailed together before, and some schmuck will buy it, but they don't come back for seconds
right,
unless it works. And so, that's kind of the deal. If it didn't work, then people would have been like, I'll find something else.
that is absolutely right. And to your point, 75% of our sales are to repeat customers. Um,
That's
it's
awesome.
it's been quite an extraordinary journey. Um, and one of the most beautiful things out of this has actually been your audience. Your audience is extraordinary. I've said this before, and I'm going to continue to say it till the day I depart this earth. Your audience is extraordinary,
Yes,
and
they are.
they really are.
They're
They really are.
fabulous.
And the sensitivity of your audience is also extraordinary too. A lot of people have written in to say, Andrew, I I feel the intention of what you've been
Yeah.
trying to do in your product, and I the first time I got an email like that, I was really taken back. I thought, how does anyone sort of discern intention? But I think when the motives are really clear, then
Yeah.
you sense it when
Yeah.
you use it. And I was very clear with intention, which was, this has to be at its highest potency possible at a very affordable price. Because I can tell
Yes.
you, all the big guys strip out as many of the active ingredients as possible to make a little more profit. Because when they're so big, a little bit of profit is a large amount of money. Now, we are the
With
opposite.
more zeros than most of us are used to seeing.
Absolutely. 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 Um, I might have mentioned this before, but I have a friend who years and years and years ago was in the skincare game, and he told me some secrets, which I don't want to go publicly and say, but I can tell you there are scammers out there, and that's really not right. I mean, in my opinion, it's not right. So, you know, wanting to ensure that the product had the highest potency possible, and then to create the booster serums that you add into the moisturizer means that you have even less binding agents or fillers to try and bind to things to change its functionality. So, for your customers that don't know yet, sorry, for your viewers that don't know yet, you mix a little bit of moisturizer and then you add a functional booster serum to change its functionality. So it can be
And depending on your skin for that day, it will depend on what serum you may use. I
right,
mean,
exactly.
I've managed to get all of them now, all the different serums. There are some that I've given away simply because I'll never use them and they'll just sit there because I just don't have that issue with my skin anymore, not at my age anyway. But at the same time, if I'm having a different skin day than another day, then I can switch out what serum I put with it. The thing I really love about it is it's all pre-measured from the base moisturizer, which is you push the top down for one pump and you get just enough. I mean, that's all I need is one squirt, and that
Right.
covers my whole face and my neck. And then the serum comes out just one pump, and you get like one squirt of it. And some things I just use one squirt, and some things I might use 2 or 3 squirts. Just
Right.
depends on what it is and what it's for.
Right.
And as I shared with you last time, I have like really dry skin on my arms and my legs, and I have a regular body lotion for diabetics that I use. And I one day decided, oh, I wonder what would happen if I added some of the serum to it. Man, it amazing the difference it made just in changing the consistency of the lotion, and it absorbed 10 times quicker into my skin than normal.
That is good to
And
know.
yeah, so I mean, and there are times when I may not even use the moisturizer. I just use a little bit of serum
Right.
to blend in, if I'm working on a problem area. So,
Right.
uh,
And that's the reason why we came up with this system. It's because only you know why your skin is the way it is when you wake up in the morning. And if you went
right.
out drinking and dancing the night before, which I know, Sherry, you often do.
Oh, yeah. I'm a regular party animal.
But if you do that, then you know why the next morning you've woken up with incredibly dry skin. You know why it is. And
Yeah.
so now you have a way in which you can deal with it better, because if it's a moisturizer that's the same every single day after day after day, day after day, and no ability to increase its intensity, then you're going to have to wait for that to actually change your skin back to normal. And
Yeah.
that also, there's a better way. So that was also the intention. But
Yeah.
look, your audience is incredibly smart as well. I mean, to be able to sort of sense and read sort of the energy that's gone into this, you know, there's no fooling anyone that's watching this show. That's for sure.
Well, and that's it. I mean, I've had some people go, oh, you're going to talk about that again? Why are you always talking about it? How much money do you make off of that? I'm like, I don't make anything on this. These bracelets are the first thing that I've promoted that I actually would make a commission. I think it's like 15% or something of like a $10 sale. Woo, I'm rolling in the dough. And I do it because it's natural gemstones. And for every product that's sold, they put money into the wild sea otters. that almost went extinct to help replenish and protect them. And it's like two birds, one stone. If I know that what I'm using or talking about is not just because I like to wear jewelry or I want my skin to look good or whatnot, it's because there's also another positive attached to that,
Right.
then yeah, you can't shut me up about it.
Right. Right. Right.
I've told people, well, if you don't want to hear about it, then bye. What can I say? Just enough people do love it, and I know several people that have used the product that absolutely swear by it. I mean, in my lifetime, I've paid a bloody fortune in skincare products that never did what it said it would do.
Sure.
And when I tried this, thinking, okay, well maybe it'll make my skin a little bit, because as I've gotten older, my skin has gotten drier. It's
Right.
changed from how it used to be.
Right.
I didn't expect suddenly the dark spots to fade off and go away. That blew me away. And I was like, I think that was the first time you saw me talk about it, because I was with Mel. I was like, oh my God, it actually made the spot go away.
Yeah.
And it wasn't what I expected to happen, but it was a nice surprise, I have to tell you. And
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
so
It's been a very interesting journey for me too, also spiritually as well. I've talked recently about the challenge we had when we sold out. So as I mentioned before, we sold out and everything's on back order. And then of course there are, three things that have to come together to replenish inventory. One of those things is, of course, the ingredients themselves. So, I called the lab and I said, do you have the ingredients ready?
We got to boost sale.
Yeah, we need
boost
to,
volume.
we need to make an emergency production. They said, yeah, no problem. And I called the packaging company, for the box and the labels, and they said, yeah, we're there for you, no problem. And I called the company that creates these dispensers.
Yeah.
And I said, okay,
These are the coolest. I mean, they unclick. You open. I'm gonna drop it now. Open and close it, and I'm clumsy. I drop crap all the time.
No problem.
See how sturdy? I dropped it. It bounced around down there, and then didn't even affect it. So
Well, if it
but you
doesn't
open
work,
and
make sure
close
you
the
let me know.
bottom, and you do one little squirt, and there you go. I mean,
Right.
and
Well, I called the company and I said, I need for you to send them to me really quickly. And they said to me, no problem, Andrew. We'll start production in about 8 weeks. We'll finish production in about 12 weeks, and we can get them to you in 16 weeks. And at that point, it's like the earth had opened up and swallowed me up. And of course,
I remember you going into panic mode.
I went into panic
like,
mode
oh my
because
God.
now what do I do? I'm like, okay, is this the end of the company? I mean, we just started in January. I mean, am I now destined to close its doors? So, as I'm trying to scramble to figure this out, there was this incredibly loud voice in my head that kept repeating, don't panic. And the more I tried to ignore it, the louder it got.
Yes,
And
the
of course,
voices can be very persistent.
Absolutely. I was in the middle of panicking. So, but there's one thing a great person taught me once, which is when you're really looking for answers, you have to be silent. So, you can't let your mind try to create excuses or reasons or go through all of that, back and forth nonsense. You have to be silent. And so that person taught me to learn how to go into meditation and seek answers. And that's what I did. I shut the world out. I, literally went into a place without light, or sort of a quiet room, and I went into meditation. And as I'm searching for answers, for me, I see pictures. I know for you, you hear voices.
That
For
well,
me,
and when I'm reading, I'll get like movie clip
uh-huh,
snips,
right.
and just or TV snips, or I'll hear a
Yeah.
song. But a lot of times I'll get a movie clip and I'm like, I'm not going to say that. That's stupid. What does that got to do with anything? But invariably, if I go ahead and say it,
Right.
it's their favorite movie, or
It
that's their
resonates.
favorite scene, or it works. And so it's like,
Yeah.
I quit arguing with that. So it's like, oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. So
And the same thing happened for me. I kept seeing this movie playing over and over and over and over, of someone I had met 3 years earlier that I had lost touch with. But he was in the skincare game. He was in the, he makes and produces, skincare containers like this. And it was when I was doing the research for starting the company, and it was a chance meeting that happened out of nowhere, and we lost touch because I just wasn't sure about him or whatever it was. And in this meditation, I just kept going to that one meeting I ever had with him, and it kept playing over and over and over. And as I tried to nudge to find another angle or another solution, it kept flinging back to this scene. So, I go out of this meditation thinking, okay, well, now what? Because I don't know his name. I don't know where he is. I don't think I have his number. I don't think how would I find him?
yeah.
And then I had this image where I had once texted him 3 years ago. So now it was, okay, I'm going to go through all my text messages and find out if I've ever kept his text message. Fortunately, I don't delete them. And, after a long period of time,
You
I finally
sound like
found,
me. Never get rid of anything.
never get rid of anything, right? And eventually I found him, and I reached out to him and I said, hi, do you maybe remember me? And of course, I don't even know his name. He said, well, tell me what it is that you're looking for. And I sent him a picture, and he said, okay, give me 24 hours and I'll call you back. Now, at this point, I'm thinking, I'm going to have to refund all these orders. I'm going to have to, close the company down. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. I didn't sleep well that night. Let's put it that way. And in the morning, he called, as he said he would. And he said, how many do you want? I told him how many thousand I need. And he said, great. I can put them on a boat. You'll have them in 4 weeks, or I can fly them to you air freight. You'll have them in 10 days. And at that point, when you're covered in chills and you know that the universe has realigned, because I stopped panicking at that point. The universe was like reshuffling the cards and realigning everything again.
Yeah.
And I could finally breathe. And it was like, dear Lord, thank God. Whatever has happened in this transition, there's a learning. And there was a learning, because he also was one of the original sources for these things. The other company had charged me double because they were buying from somebody else. And, he has a whole bunch of other solutions that are going to help the company too. So, the universe was really guiding me to sort of get to here, because it was the better thing for what I was doing. And I didn't know that at the time. I just thought, it was time to close down the company 6 months after starting it. But, it really is amazing how the universe can work.
And how many people would have followed through with what they were being shown or told,
Right.
From wherever it comes from for each individual person.
Absolutely.
And then just follow through and not just say, okay, well, this is a wash, and just throw up your hands and walk away. I mean, there's a lot of hard work, a lot of years, a lot of research and whatnot gone into creating this product. And I know when it's something like skincare or hair care or something we may ingest, there's a lot of hoops you got to jump through as far
Indeed.
as government protections for people,
Right.
because you don't want to just slap anything on your face. What if it starts eating the skin off
That's,
of your face,
that's
or
right.
makes your hair fall out, or um, so you want people that have to go through all those hoops to know that you're getting a safe product as a consumer,
Indeed.
because
Indeed.
you don't want to
Everything.
go out and spend 25
Right.
bucks on something and it's might as well just have flushed it down the toilet.
That's right.
And
We go through tough testing. There's a 30-day test, there's a 90-day test, and the testing happens in a laboratory in controlled environments. Certificates have to be issued and produced and submitted. And all that testing is, a critical part of
yeah.
what has to happen.
Well, and
And
as an ethical creator and owner of that,
right,
you want to make sure that the product that's going out is safe for the consumer to consume. I mean,
right,
you don't want to ship something out to somebody that the minute they put it on their skin or put it in their hair, the very worst thing can happen. I mean, that's just opening yourself up for ungodly amounts of lawsuits, and
yeah,
not to mention destroying your career and your reputation and your name, and
that's absolutely right.
that all goes together.
That's absolutely right.
Um,
And that's why this project was 4 years in the making.
yeah,
Before I started this project in August of 2020, and we launched January 1st of this year, 2025. So, hi
this was
Terry.
directed at you. I'm
Hi
hoping
Terry.
Andrew comes out with a body lotion.
We're
Me
working on it.
too.
We're working. We're working on it.
Hey, working on
We're
it.
working on it. Thanks, Terry. Yeah, indeed, and that's also part of doing the right thing. I think all of us who are watching today are kind of fed up with people not doing the right thing. We are in a world and in an environment where there are opportunists galore and grifters all over the place. And so doing the right thing is about delivering something that is going to be beneficial and helpful and do what it says it's going to do. Now, if it doesn't, people now have a voice. Social media gives people a voice to be able to say, this is bad, or, ratings, this is not good, or whatever it is. So that is a good avenue to be able to get there. But, nobody wants to wait until we get there. The
Right.
integrity has to be up front. So, having said that, I don't mean to toot our own horn, but, out of 360 reviews, 350 have been 5 stars. And that's, says a lot about just the way in which people have responded. I'll tell you a little story. I mentioned this on a show with Linda Mel. I had a customer call, one of your viewers for sure, who we were talking about the product, and I can't remember exactly what the call was for. I think to maybe follow up on an order, but nonetheless, she said, towards the end of the call, she loves the product, and I said, thanks very much. And she says, I use it every night now, and I have my routine where I put on my moisturizer and I use the nighttime serum. And I said, that's great. That's wonderful. She said, the change happened so much that my husband was so impressed that he now does the same routine with me in front of the mirror every night. I said, well, that's great. What kind of skincare was he using before this? She said, nothing. I said, oh, that's really quite something. She said, by the way, this week, he's going to be 90. It's like, wow, that is quite something. And
Yeah.
I was, I was speechless, because again, this goes back to hopefully the you know, the integrity that people feel in the product. You know, there's a feeling in it, and if you can feel it and it aligns with you, then that is really a great thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, because we've all tried things or gone places because we've heard it's good or we heard it's supposed to be good, and maybe you don't get that feeling off of it, but you follow through anyway, and you usually get burned. Either it's not a nice place, or it's not a good product, or it's the food stinks. I mean, it could be a number of different things. So it's important, I think, that as we create what we're supposed to be doing, that when we put that intention into it, that people pick up on that. They pick up on those vibes. I mean, you definitely feel that. I know I felt that when I got my first box and opened it. I could feel the energy off of it. And it was very positive, and I was like, oh, this is going to be good. Because I've gotten other things that,
Right.
didn't give me that feeling. When I opened the box, it was like, I may have made a mistake here, and usually I was right. It didn't turn out very good.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I've had the same experience, and some of those had major celebrity names attached to them. I mean, you can tell straight away it's an opportunistic situation. I had another customer write in, and she said, I've never written to a company before, but I felt I had to say thank you. She said, it's clear that this is more than a business to you. It feels like you're putting good into the world, not just selling something. And
yeah,
she finishes her statement by saying, that really matters to me. And
absolutely.
that's the kind of, feedback that really has touched me emotionally, but also, for your audience that heard me in your last program, the name Andro+Niki is actually my grandmother's name. And even though I never met her, she passed away before I was born. I feel her presence in being able to do what it is that I'm doing. And I do feel connected to something beyond just me. And how it all came about was just sheer coincidence. I'd never intended to name the company after her. I wanted to call it derma something, or, skin something. And all those website names that had any component of those words were all taken and wanted $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 for it, which I wasn't prepared to pay to a pirate like that. So, coming up, with my grandmother's name was a pure coincidence. And yeah, I really feel the, sort of that she's there with me along the way. Well, thank you, beautiful butterfly. That's really very, very beautiful.
Yes, he is.
I'm actually touched. I'm actually a little verklempt. Thank you.
That was one of the things the first time I saw you with, you would come on with Mel and Linda, and I was already using the product. I was already talking about it. I was already excited about it. And then I saw you come on with Mel and Linda, where I actually got to see your face and hear your voice and talk about it. And I could see the excitement and the positivity coming out of you talking about how and why you created this product. And I was mid-show. I was like sitting there doing up an email going, okay, I got to get him to come on and come talk to people, because this is, it's one thing for me to talk about it. It's another thing for somebody that actually created it. And you can tell that this is something that comes from your soul. It's not just a product that you make to make money. I mean, that's nice too, but there's a deeper meaning behind it than that.
Well, I want to read you something that I got from another customer that when I read this, I needed a long time to get myself readjusted and back into focus because it touched me to my core. This is from a customer. Her name is Linda. She said, I'm 77 and I've been struggling with a serious illness that has caused me to lose so much weight so quickly that my skin has suffered. She writes, I cannot thank you enough. Your products have given me hope again. My face has already improved and I want to feel my best despite what I'm going through. These products are the very best of the best. And I can tell you, it took me quite a while to refocus after reading that. And you can tell already that I'm quite moved by it, even as I talk about it. I never in my wildest dreams would have expected an email like that.
Exactly. I mean, it's the first time you reached out to me and emailed me just to thank me because I talked about it. And I was kind of floored because, I mean, you don't normally hear from the creator of something just because you say something nice about what they created. But I could feel it just coming off of the email. I could feel your intensity of how you felt about it. And it was like, if I didn't like it, if I didn't believe in it, I wouldn't have said anything. I mean, granted, we all need marketing and get, trying to get our name out there and get our product, whether if it's reading cards or creating skincare, trying to get it out for other people to find us and hopefully help them. But in the end, it will come down to people like this wonderful Linda, who speaks from the heart and is like, this made a difference in my life because of fill in the blank, and that's when you're creating something that's coming from your heart, from your soul, from your gut of what you want to do to help other people. Wow, what an affirmation that is to come back. It's just like when I've done a reading for somebody and I hope that it in some way helps them, but it's when a month or 2 months or 3 months later, I'll get another email saying, you told me this or you said that. And oh my God, that's exactly what happened. You told me, to prepare for this or to, that was going to occur. And most of the time, I don't remember. I couldn't tell you what I said because it's just that open conduit. Yeah, it doesn't. I have to go back and rewatch it to see what did I say. But it's very encouraging when you get that affirmation coming back from people saying, yeah, I've tried your product and it is fabulous. I mean, since I first started using it, I have not been able to shut up about it because that's how much I believe in it. That's how much I like it. And especially since we actually got to physically meet face to face, well, internet face to face, that it was like I could see in your energy the love that you put into doing this. It wasn't just something to make money. And a lot of times you can feel that with people that are making something new. You can really strongly get that vibe of, well, they're just in it to make some money. And they don't really care what it is that they're doing. But when you find something that's coming from somebody's heart, then, wow, that's why I think so many people respond so positively towards it because they can feel that energy coming into them. In a lot of ways, it's like you're sharing a little piece of your heart with every person that's trying that product, and they feel that. They feel it, they use it, they start seeing it work, and then they start believing in it. And I think the more you believe in it, the better it works.
Right.
you know, because then your brain starts churning and creating the chemicals to do whatever it is that you want something to happen.
Right.
Our brain is a powerful instrument that we haven't even begun to grasp what it can do.
Indeed.
And yeah.
Indeed. And I think so much is clear when we have good intentions, meaning that, you know, when the intentions are really honorable and the motives are really clear, that's when the universe can work through us to bring about the approach, the concept, you know, to be able to do the right thing. And I mentioned before, you know, my sisters have worked with me on this project as well. Thank you so much. And we never stopped questioning until we really felt and sensed that the right answer was in front of us, that
Right.
feeling had to be 100% clear first before moving to the next step. And trusting our intuition in terms of,
Right. Yeah.
you know, what that was, to allow everything to unfold, but to be very clear that, you know, checking and rechecking in terms of how the feelings were, how the motives were very much a cornerstone of how we started planning. And that's really important. There have been other customers, by the way, that have had me laughing. I should tell you that too.
I'm sure you're bound to get all kinds of messages. So, you know.
I tell you, I've got a message here from Gail. Gail, if you're watching, hi. She said, at my last ophthalmologist visit, the assistant missed my eye while putting in drops. She said, I'm sorry, I was admiring your skin instead of looking at your eye. I'm 71 years old, she writes. And, you know, those to me are like golden nuggets of just great stories that have, you know, that have emerged from people. I mean, it really is quite something. I have another customer who wrote, you know, my skin is firmer and the lines on my face are diminishing. That's very nice. Thank you. My husband even noticed a difference, and that was hell of a shock, she said. We will be married 49 years next month, and he never even notices when I have a complete new outfit head to toe. He was very impressed with your products. Thank you. I am hooked. So, you know, I'm glad I'm able to help relationships come together as well. I mean, that's.
I mean, the housekeeper that works in our building, part of the cleaning crew, and we have a regular housekeeper that cleans our building every day at work. And she had come in one morning and was like, you always have pretty skin. She says, but what are you doing lately? Because you're glowing all the time. And I'm like, I'm what? And she's like, you're glowing. And I went, oh, well, that's the new skincare I'm using. And she's like, I don't know of any skincare that makes you glow. And I said, let me show you. And so I pulled up the website real quick so she could take a look. And her first question was, well, yeah, but does that work on Black people? And I'm like,
any skin.
Skin is skin. It doesn't matter what color it is. It's still skin. It's going to do the same thing. And she thought about it for a minute. She says, yeah, I guess you're right. She says, like, I'm so used to seeing products, any kind of skincare or hair care products are packaged and sold differently if it's going to a white audience or a Black audience, because it's treated like we're that different that we can't use the same thing. And I'm like, well, that's stupid. I mean, that was my reaction. I was like, why would somebody think that? I said, maybe with some hair care products, just because the texture of your hair is different than the texture of my hair. I said, but there's probably stuff you use that works really, really good for your hair that would be crappy on mine because I don't have the same kind of hair. I said, but when it comes to skin, I don't think there's any difference. It's just skin. And
Right.
you know, I mean, yeah, drinking water and eating healthy helps you have healthy skin, but that only goes so far. And then you've got the topical layer, you know, of trying to take care of it. It's like that's why we wear makeup or, you know, that kind of thing, because we want to look nice. And I
Right.
mean,
You're absolutely right. You know, skin is skin is skin. The biggest difference in skin is new skin versus old skin. That
yeah.
is the big difference. You know, when the skin in our 20s is very different to skin in our
Oh
60s
God,
and
ain't that the truth?
beyond. And that really is the fundamental difference. I mean, we lose collagen production. We lose elasticity. You know, our skin has weathered storms over and over and over, and not just physical storms, if you know what I mean, but also emotional storms. You know, our body responds as much to our emotional disposition as it does our physical environment and conditions. And
Yeah.
so, you know, by the time you're 50 or 60, you've been through a lot. And honestly, if you can take a step back and look in the mirror and feel good about yourself at 60 or 70, you've earned that. And if you've earned
I
that, you
think
know, that's something to
my
celebrate.
skin looks better now at 64 than it did at 34. Because I just didn't find any product that actually did what I needed it to do for my skin. Now, granted, when I was in my teens and my 20s and my 30s, my skin was a lot oilier than it is now. As I've gotten older, it's gotten drier. Um, but it's still not like, I know some people fight dry skin like to an extreme.
Right.
I get that because of my arms and my legs. I have really
Right.
dry skin, but it was never on my face. It was always the opposite. And it makes a difference when you find a product that works and does what it says it's going to do and then some. And it's still, you know, like I shared last time with the toner that you have. They have a vitamin C toner that you can use like after you wash your face before you put the moisturizer on. You can use this toner. And I had quit using toner years ago because it always burned my skin. It always made my skin feel like it was burning and I didn't like the sensation. So I just quit using it.
Mhm.
And then I decided to try the vitamin C toner. I was thinking, if it's half as good as the moisturizer stuff is, I'm just going to be sold. And it was wonderful because it makes my skin feel refreshed without burning it. You know, I don't feel like I need to wipe it off, you know, seconds after I put it on.
It
And
should not burn.
and it's a really refreshing feeling on the skin, you know, like it's
Right.
gone down another layer of cleaning it other than just soap and water. Um, and
That's,
so,
that's one of the
yeah,
reasons why we created the booster serums to be separate from the moisturizer. So, you know, for example, if you take two people who are going through the same hormonal issues um, and the same, you know, sort of processes as we get older. So it could be, you know, diminishing thyroid can create dry skin, for example. But if you take two people who are going through those same environments and you put one living by the beach and the other one living in the desert, now you've got dry skin that is going to be inherent in their physiological situation and their hormonal balances, and then exacerbated by someone who lives in the desert, like in Palm Springs, for example. So by
right,
being able to adjust that serum to say, okay, for that same person that is going through life and in, you know, the conditions that are in the desert, can intensify that daily regimen a little more than the person who's living by the ocean, who may still have dry skin, but is constantly feeling a sense of moisture on the top. I think that makes a big difference in terms of you've got, you know, one kind of product that can be versatile no matter what the conditions are and no matter what the environment is. And I think for the person to be able to have that autonomy to create that regimen that is right for them in that moment, in that day, that is, I think, where the beauty lies, is, you know, being responsive to what you know you're going through. And that's really important.
Right, right, right. I mean, it's like I take a lot of medications, especially for my back. I mean, I was injured in '99. My back is all effed up. And so I take pretty strong medications for it daily, just so I can function normally. And it wears on your skin.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as it's like I make a point of drinking extra water because I didn't want kidney failure because the strength of some of the medications I take. And I know it can be a dangerous thing. It can cause kidney shutdown, you know. And so I made a point of learning what do I need to do to, number one, make the medicine work the way it's supposed to, but number two, protect the rest of me that doesn't necessarily need that medication. And and it's the same is true with your skin. You know, if you have a lot of illnesses or if you take a lot of medications, it can change the texture and the tone and the flexibility. That's not the right word, but I can't think of the other one. That is your skin. You know, it's the same as touching an 80-year-old person's skin and then touching an 8-month-old person's skin. You know, we would all love for our skin to feel like a newborn baby's skin because, wow, it is wonderful. But if I could just get a portion of that, then I'm a happy camper because I'm getting up there. I'm not getting any younger. So, you know, it's like,
and you're absolutely right.
I want to take care of it now so that I continue to look healthy.
Right. Exactly. And you're absolutely right. In terms of medications, they have an impact on the body. And when you have an impact on the body, it shows through the skin. But so also does the way we think as well. So, you know, metaphysics, as is commonly known, is, you know, the way our thinking process affects our physical body. And, you know, we've had some customers who've talked about acne breakouts in their 60s and 70s. And why does that happen? Now, sometimes it can be physiological, sometimes it can be dietary, sometimes it can be environmental. And sometimes it can also be the way we think about ourselves. You know, if there's a sudden sort of sense of anger or frustration, and you're not able to get something out, metaphysically, that can also sort of come across as acne. Thank you so much.
I would recommend starting with the starter pack. That's basically what I use every day, morning and night. It covers the whole thing, and
it's got everything you need to experiment.
When I have different flare-ups, then there are other serums you can get that you can try, and it's going to mix with the moisturizer no matter what serum you use.
Right.
In some respects, you can just use the straight serum if it's little touch-up spots. I mean,
which is what you did with your dark spot, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, at first it was just using the daytime, the nighttime, and the anti-aging. After about a week and a half, I was like, where did the spot go? I literally in the morning putting on my makeup, and I was like, wait a minute, where did the spot literally, because it was getting dark and big, and it bugged me, and I can't begin to name how much money I've spent the last 2 years trying to make it go away or fade it out. Nothing worked. Absolutely nothing. week and a half of using just the day and the nighttime and the anti-aging, boom. And it was like, whoa. And then you have a dark spot remover product individually, and I started using it, and it worked that much faster. So
yeah, no, it's thank you for the story too. I mean, it's really great to get some of these testimonials as well, because the more feedback we get, the more I get to understand also how things are sort of shaping up and progressing, and where we might need to make changes or not. So I love feedback, by the way. So if yes, seasons make a big difference, Carla, make a big difference. And where you're experiencing those seasons too. You know, if you're experiencing them on the coast, very different conditions than if you're experiencing them inland and in a drier situation. So thank you, Patricia. You're very, very welcome. Thank you. And so all those things matter, and being able to adjust and make the change is great. Thank you. Thank you, beautiful butterfly. Thank you.
I don't have to use as much moisturizer on my skin anymore as I was using, because as I've gotten older, like I said, it's gotten drier and there are more wrinkles. And yeah, I love the fact that StreamYard has a little enhancement app that makes some of my wrinkles go away. It's like I look in the mirror and think I could just get a tuck like right here and just pull it back a little bit. It would help, you know. But the treating your skin right and healthy can make a huge difference.
And it's interesting you should say that, actually, because I had a customer reach out to me a couple of weeks ago. She said, I've been using your product and my skin got worse. And I thought, okay, I need to ask some questions. So the first question I asked, of course, was, how much are you layering? And is it intense? Are you layering intensely, or are you, using very, very little? What is it that you're doing? And come to find out, of course, that it was that she was overusing the product. And so it was drenching way too much and sort of creating a little bit of weight on her skin. So I worked with her to say, okay, let's ease back, let's pull it back, let's stop for a few days, and then let's start just a very little bit, because a very little bit goes a long way. And all of a sudden, her skin bounced back and everything came back to where she wanted it to be. And she was really grateful for that. But it makes a difference in terms of the kind of, skin you have, where are you in terms of your skin's evolution. And as we talked about, and then how that treatment is, it makes a big difference. If it's dry, it's going to absorb very quickly. If it's moist, it's going to sit on the surface, whatever it is that you use. So, just understanding that makes also a difference as well.
Well, and the same goes with cleansing it. I mean, it's one thing to just take a wash rag and wipe your face off at the end of the day. It's another thing to use either a cleanser or soap or something that you're going to wash the skin, because that helps take off that dead layer of skin.
Right.
That's accumulated by the end of the day, And,
right.
And then you followed that up with the right serums and the right kind of moisturizer.
Right.
And suddenly you've got skin that's different as night and day from where it was to where it can be. And
that's right.
And so that's where it's I know a couple of people had asked, I try to figure out what product to use. When people have said that to me, I've always said, just start with the starter pack. See how that goes. And then you can shop around for the different serums. If you have a lot of breakouts, well, you might want to get the breakout serum. If you have exceptionally dry, wrinkly skin, then you might want to use what is this one? Is damage prevention is this one. Yep. And there's another one that's dry
skin. And irritated.
I use those on my hands and my arms because they get really dry. So again, it's knowing your skin, knowing and understanding
Right.
what your skin needs, but at the
And what you've
same
done,
time,
right.
you have to
And what
drink
you've done
enough
to it.
fluids. Yeah, and you have to hydrate, keep yourself
Right.
hydrated, and as well as keep it clean. You have to
Right.
keep your skin clean.
Right. I talk a lot about skin blind. Skin blind for me is when, you know, the jar of skincare lotion is the same every single day, but your skin is not. And so, you know, if you use the same lotion every day and it's always the same, then your skin becomes so familiar with it, it starts to become less responsive to it day
Right.
after day after day. And I call that being skin blind. So being able to change things up a little bit means you'll never go skin blind. And that's what the serums are really designed for, is to be able to be responsive. I had one customer write to me, she writes, I have been using really great, clean product for years. She said, but whatever you've done here is really blowing my mind. And yeah, my skin feels new. And it hasn't even been a week yet. She says, you're a genius. Thanks so much. I'm not a genius, but I want to be clear, you know, I feel like I worked with a higher source to be able to.
Whoever created the serums are geniuses, but
Well,
yeah, I mean, it was, like I said, I'd been using it a week and a half when I literally, one morning putting on my makeup, I was like, where'd the spot go? Because it used to be like a ton of makeup on that one spot, trying to fade it out, you know, and it, by noon, I've already sweated off half of my makeup because I'm in the South and it gets really hot and muggy here. People sweat a lot. And it really, it was a shock. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't looking for it, you know, other than just, I like the way it made my skin feel. But then after about a week and a half, and I'm literally this epiphany in the mirror going, oh my God, it went away. Or it almost went away. I mean, it's still, without makeup on, you can still see it a little bit, but it's slowly getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And that for me, that was the kicker, because you know, my mother had age spots on her face. My grandmother, my great grandmother, I can remember them all having the big, dark, splotchy looking age spots on their skin. And I know they hated it. And I was always like, God, I hope I never have that on my skin. Well, yeah, here it comes. And so it made a huge difference. And it only took about a week and a half for it to be that noticeable that I was literally like, oh my God, where did it go?
I told you before, Sherry, if I ever get on QVC, you're going to be my spokesperson.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
I will be there.
You're going to
Rings
be
on my fingers and bells on my toes. You got it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's easy to talk about something when it works and works well, and it does even better than what it's advertised to do. And that can make a huge difference. And like I said, I mean, anybody that's producing any kind of product, whether if it's a physical product or yourself, marketing is a big part of it, and how to get the word out. And regardless of how much money you pour into marketing, in the end, it's going to come down to word of mouth.
Yeah.
You know, if it doesn't do what it says it's going to do, then you're going to have a lot of, you're going to lose customers, prospective new customers, as well as returning customers, you know.
Right. It's funny you should say that, actually, because we nearly lost one customer because of the delays we were experiencing. And even worse, this one customer was in Canada and there was a postal strike and her order never appeared because it got lost in the strike. And so on top of that, she was even more upset. So Joanne from Canada, hi, Joanne, if you're watching, I worked with her, and we finally got product to her. And so she wrote back to me, and she said, "I'll be honest, I was upset at first with the delays, but you've more than proven yourselves. Your anti-aging booster serum is better than anything I've used in 40 years, including Lancome. I served in the Canadian military, helping others for decades, and I retired with a National Excellence Award. I don't give my loyalty lightly, but you've earned mine."
Yeah.
That also touched me deep into
That
my
speaks volumes right there,
because, here's a person with enormous integrity that really did not need to come back and respond to me whatsoever. Enormous integrity, and she loved it. I absolutely loved it, and I felt blessed and humbled by her experience and her sharing.
Well, I know with the housekeeper there that at work, she got some product. She when it came in, and she was like, it came in. I'm so happy. I can't wait to start using it." And I said, "Well, don't wait. Start using it today when you get home." And about a week after she had gotten it, she happened to catch me one morning. I was still sitting in my office when she came by. She was like, "Oh my God, this is the best stuff I've ever used in my life." She says, "Now my granddaughter's trying to steal it from me." And I said, "Well, order her own starter pack." She says, "I already did that." And I'm like, "Okay, good." But she was just beside herself. She loved it so much. And she says, "I'm telling everybody about it." And I said, "Good, do that." Spread the word.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you a funny story. When we finally got batches ready, I sent, of course, a whole set to my sister. And, a couple of weeks later, I said, "So, what do you think?" She said, "I've hardly had a chance to use it." And I said, "Well, why is that?" Because her son had stolen, keeps stealing it out of her bathroom and using it himself because he loves it. And so, she's like, I can't seem to get it back from his hands. I'm like, "All right, I'll send you some more."
Yeah.
So,
Get him his own set,
absolutely. And, that was also a great story. But, yeah.
Well, and I've had people ask me, mattered if you were male or female, did they have different products for male or female? I'm like, no. Skin is skin. It doesn't matter if it's male or female skin. It just,
absolutely.
Is it dry? Is it oily? Is it
Right.
a combination of both?
Right.
That's about it.
Look, I have tough Mediterranean skin,
Yeah, I mean, I have a scar that goes across my throat from when they did my neck surgery, because they go through the front, not through the back. I have 4 vertebrae fused in my neck.
Oh my gosh.
And so, I got to still ride the 6 screws. That's what holds my head up. And, but I started using some of it on the scar, which you really couldn't see that much. I see it. To me, it's like a neon light. Other people are like, "I don't see it." It's like, I see it. That's all that matters. But I started using it, and it was like within about a week or so, I started noticing the scar was kind of fading out. It wasn't as dark, because they do pretty good about cutting it on the folds of the skin, so that it's not glaring. But I know when I first got the surgery, once they allowed me to take off the bandages and clean around the area, the first thing my mother did was she went and bought a bar of pure cocoa butter and would have me put that on my skin. And because that's one of the things that they used all her life was pure cocoa butter for like stretch marks when you have children, or scars when you have surgery, or
Cocoa butter is great, actually.
And it makes a huge difference.
Really great. Yeah, really important. Yeah.
And
so how's that timing going, Sherry?
How's the what?
How's that time today?
Oh, our time. Wow, we've been an hour and 5 minutes, so very good. Is there anything else you want to add to it, or any more of your feedback that you got?
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you to your audience. If some of the challenges that we went through as a startup was happening outside of this wonderful and beautiful audience, we would be in a very, very different position.
I would say yes. That's what I've been doing. Play Love.
Yeah, yeah. Even Mel talks about the fact that he's been using the product in his hands, particularly.
I could take a bath in it with my hands and my arms. It's like, yeah, you just like dunk into a vat of it would be nice.
Right.
Because I have really dry skin on my arms and my legs. But,
right. So I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone might have right now. But I do want to just say thank you. And feedback from anyone that's used the product, we would love to hear feedback at any time. We are also looking at potentially, it's not funded yet, creating a YouTube channel where we talk about alternative skincare that has got nothing to do with products. So diet that really supports good skincare, exercise supports good skincare, mindfulness that supports good skincare. So, and brought to you by a skincare company, which would seem to be the opposite of what they might want to do, I think is really sort of a good approach for us. So if there's...
Yeah, I think that's excellent.
Yeah. If there's anyone out there who wants to give us some advice of things they might want to see, write to us at info@andro+Niki.com, and you'll get to us, and we would love to hear your feedback in terms of some of the things that you would like to hear on that show that talks about skincare beyond the bottle. As a matter of fact, that might be a good title for the...
.com, right?
What's that?
It's .com.
Yes, info@andro+Niki.com. Sorry. Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure I had it right before I posted it up. So
you got it. Info.
There's the link in the plus it's in the description box below. But
thank you so much. So let us know if there's anything you'd like to hear, or
here's a good one that a lot of people ask right from the get-go. Animal testing.
No animal testing whatsoever.
Yeah.
No animal testing. And the serums have absolutely no animal product in them whatsoever either. They're all 100% organic. Also, if anyone practices alternative medicine or alternative professional practices, and you think you'd like to contribute to a show brought to you by Andro+Niki Skincare, then also write to us at info@andro+Niki.com. We'd love to hear from you too, because we're also looking for co-collaborators as well. So that'll be slated for the beginning of next year if we get it off the ground.
There you go. So they're going to run me out until I just run away with it all. So gotta get some new blood in there.
Me too.
And TC says, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay, let's see. Patricia, I am from Canada. I ordered your cream, spot remover, and serum. I paid duty fees at the time I placed my order.
Right to us, and we'll make it good for you. Drop me Patricia. I'll take your name down right now, and I'll reach out to you. No problem at all.
Well, and I'll save it on the side too.
I will tell you. One of the challenges we had was shipping and distribution outside of the US. We did have some challenges, and we just changed to a new freight forwarding company that everything is integrated. And so we are going to be minimizing those issues from this point on. So that got finalized this week. So Patricia, all right, I'll reach out to you later today. We'll make it right.
You trust me. If he tells you he's going to reach out to you, he's going to reach out to you. So that's one thing for sure. Do y'all have any other questions about any of it? uh, yeah, the Supreme Court just came back and said a lot of his tariffs were illegal. He couldn't do them.
Right.
I was like, yeah, duh.
Yeah. Right.
We've
Exactly.
been telling you that for a while.
Yeah.
I know the next item on my list that I want to try is the mask, the face mask that you can
So
put on.
we
And
are working right now on introducing an LED face mask. So the red light LED that you might have seen a lot of other companies bring out. The LED mask that we are looking at right now is with red light LED, also with near infrared as well, which penetrates a little bit deeper into the skin to stimulate
wow.
collagen production. And then infrared as well, which goes in even deeper. And it is the deepest level of skin healing and rejuvenation that is allowed by the FDA, which is the infrared. So
Oh, wow.
red light, which is more on the surface, near infrared and infrared, and then the mask also can trigger all those three modalities at once as a fourth modality where all those are working together in unison. So we're
Oh,
hopefully
that's
going
cool.
to have an announcement,
Will
hopefully
y'all be
in a
doing the
week or
lights
two.
with it, or
Right.
um
So you'll plug it in. It's completely wireless in terms of control. So, and it also molds on your face. It's not a flat panel that sort of is awkward. It completely wraps around your face. And we hopefully will make an announcement in a week or two. We'll send out emails to everyone, letting them know that it's coming. And if you want to,
beautiful butterflies like me, I definitely want to order that.
no
Oh,
problem.
yeah.
So we want to get them in time for Christmas.
Oh, that would be great. What a great Christmas gift you can buy for
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, as you get older, your skin gets crepier, and just the texture of your skin changes as you get older.
Absolutely.
Like I said, everybody wants to have skin like a newborn, because wow,
Don't we all?
that's yeah. Wouldn't that be nice?
Don't we all?
So that would be great. That would make great Christmas gifts, especially if you have teenagers or
Young and old,
middle age,
it really,
old. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But
it's really age agnostic. And
I think it helps when you have teenagers. They're just starting to explore into the skincare. What do I use? How do I use it? Experimenting with makeup and all of that. I mean, I remember when I first started to try to wear makeup, I remember my mother sitting me down in the bathroom and saying, the objective is to hide your good points and is to enhance the good points and hide the flaws. And you
right.
don't want to look like a streetwalker, that's cruising around the corner at night. And so, she was really blunt about it. You want to look nice, but you don't want to look like a floozy, so to speak. And so it was a great way to kind of learn in the beginning. And she was always real adamant about, wash your face before you go to bed, wash your face when you get up in the morning. You have to keep the skin clean if you want it to look good.
Right.
If you want makeup to go on right, your skin's got to be clean and it's got to be
Right.
hydrated. Otherwise, your makeup doesn't go on right. So,
Right.
I mean, I used to use heavier cream foundations and stuff, and then once my skin kind of started changing, I went to like the powdered foundations and the powdered stuff that I used to not be able to use them at all, and now they work great. So and again, that's another trial and error. You just got to kind of try and see what works for you. And but that's just something kind of superficial. You're bringing out your good points and hiding the bad points,
Right.
which we all have, so and you don't want to look like a streetwalker, as my mother used to say.
No, Not unless you deliberately want to. No, that's
Not unless that's your profession, in which case,
exactly.
okay, then maybe you do want to look like a streetwalker.
Exactly.
But they need healthy skin too, so it
Right.
works all the way around. Um, Probably even more so than anybody else because
Yeah.
they're out of the elements. I would think that especially it's probably more so for men than women is the outer elements on your skin, sun and wind, and um, uh, depending on what kind of job you have. If you're an outdoor job, your skin is getting beat up by the sun and the wind and everything every day because you're out in the elements as
Right.
opposed to somebody that's sitting in an office that's air conditioned. Um, and so you have to take that into consideration as well. That hopefully you find the right products that it's going to help your skin look healthier.
Yeah.
And men want healthy looking skin just as much as women do.
Absolutely, we do. The principles of skincare have not changed over time. Keeping your skin cleansed and healthy and all that kind of stuff. But the ingredients for skincare have drastically changed over time. And, a lot of it, what we talked about before, when things don't work, they get thrown away and, the public gets a
Yeah.
chance to speak for themselves. And that by and large is what sort of helps to keep the skincare industry, as honest as it can be. But of course, there are advancements that are made in medicine, in chemical engineering, in everything to be able to bring better and better treatments for good skincare.
Yeah.
And, every day the industry is evolving.
Well, and it's all part of looking and being healthier. I think most people nowadays have
Right.
it's kind of gotten into the brain the importance of looking and feeling healthy is more than just painting something on to make yourself look that way.
Right.
It
Absolutely.
starts from the inside out. You
Right.
have to do the right things, hydrate, eat well, whatever the case may be,
Right.
exercise, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
That all helps keep your skin looking healthier than just wiping it off with a wash rag once a day or something.
Right.
It's going to
Absolutely.
make a big difference.
Yeah. And to your point, the mentality around it has changed too. If you go back 30 years and you talk about skincare for men, people would have thought
Yeah.
you're insane. I mean, and of course, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, most men would have shied away from that. Today, skincare
Or
for
they
men,
sure wouldn't, they wouldn't have admitted
right,
it if they did use it,
right,
so
for sure. But today, skincare for men is one of the biggest, most booming industries. And,
yeah.
Men are realizing, well, I should be able to have the chance to look great too. I want to feel good about myself
Right.
or whatever it might be. And so, yes, the mentality around skincare has changed. But also people want ingredients that are going to be right for them or align with their principles. And so there's lots of choices out there, lots of choices. And so people can pick and choose as to what really aligns for them.
Yeah, and I think with some of the really big companies that are big today is a lot of that is brand loyalty simply because they were the only thing available
Habit.
30, 40, 50 years ago. And so it's like, that's what I've always used. I don't change it. I keep using it. Or you see it and you're like, well, that's what my mother always used, or that's what my grandmother always used. So I'm going to stick with that myself. Um, and I think it makes a big difference in letting people understand that it's okay to shop around
Right.
and find a different product to use. And then
Right.
once you find one that works, that's the one that you stick with. You're not necessarily going to keep using something if it doesn't work for you.
Right.
And hopefully most people have enough ethics to say, I'm not going to stand up and sell something if it doesn't work. You know? So it kind of
I wish
goes
that was the
together.
case. I wish that was the case, but I do know for a fact that there
are some that don't, that it doesn't matter to them.
Right, absolutely. And unfortunately, that is the case. And in terms of testing, their ingredients are so inactive that they'll pass every test. So,
Yeah, nobody wants to look like a crispy critter, that's for sure.
Nobody
And
does.
Victoria says her cream arrived today.
Good luck.
Yay.
Keep us posted and let us know how you do with it.
Absolutely.
Victoria.
And so let us know, and you're going to hear me talk about it every damn show I do. I bring it up some way, somehow.
Thank you so much.
Get it out there.
I feel
there are a handful of things that I push that, I know the person or I've been using the product and I know it works. And I try not to go overboard with it, but I try to bring it up, and I've always got the links in the description box below. And because if it's something that's good and it's worth the money and it works, then you need to tell people about it. And
I feel very blessed to have you as a cheerleader, to have you in my corner. I really feel blessed by it, because it is not something that I asked you for. I didn't even, we didn't even know each other until you.
No, I mean, it was Mel literally saying, I have a friend who started a skincare company and he sent me some product to try, and wow, I really like it. Would you like to try some too? And I'm like, yeah, send me some. I'll give it a shot. And it was like, holy moly, this stuff is fantastic. So, and that's when I started talking about it, and they couldn't get me to shut up. So, I mean, I've had people gripe at it. You always talk about it every night. Yeah, I do. Sorry. Come in 10 minutes late if you don't want to hear me talk about it. Whatever. But yeah, it's if it's a worthy product and it's an ethical product and it's an affordable product and it actually does what it says it does, then those, I think, should be like the key things of why we talk about something, because we want to share it. It's just like if you read a good book, you tell everybody, wow, I read this fantastic book, and or I saw this great movie. It's the same thing.
Right.
It's just in a different arena, or
because there's plenty of stuff out there that doesn't have integrity, that
yes,
are just scams, and they're everywhere. I mean, the opportunists are everywhere. And so
go on Pinterest or Instagram for 10 minutes.
Exactly.
You'll get bombarded with stuff they're trying to get you to buy,
Right. As we say on the packaging, created in California, made in the USA, loved everywhere. And something that I'm
that's
really proud
very
of.
true. Yeah.
Very proud
That's very true. So Terry, Mel's the one that he asked me, he asked Linda, and he asked Arthur if we would like to try it. And we were all like, yeah, we'll give it a shot. The rest, as they say, is history. And
yes, indeed it is.
And then I got this beautiful email from Andrew introducing himself and thanking me for talking about it. I was like, wow, this is the guy that actually makes this stuff. He's emailing me. It caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it, because it's not every day you get a founder of a company that emails you personally to say, thank you for talking about my product. It's usually, that just doesn't happen. So
remember what I said, I'm blessed to have you in my corner.
And I feel blessed in the opposite direction, that you're creating such products that I can be in that corner and ring the bell for it. So, and I'm just, like I said, I was a cheerleader when I was a kid. So I guess I'm
Here you
pretty
are.
good
Yeah.
at doing that. So, um, I had my pom poms and everything. I think I was 12. I don't know. Um,
I'll
and
get
then
you
it
some.
wasn't cool to be a, it wasn't cool to be a cheerleader after that. So I couldn't do it anymore. But that was the '70s for you. What can I say? Everybody was obsessed with being cool.
Yeah, sure. Indeed.
I guess they still are today. I don't know. I don't have teenagers around anymore, so I'm not quite sure what
Nothing's
they.
changed. Everyone's still obsessed about being cool.
Yeah, that's. I guess that's very true. Even for us old fogies.
Yeah.
And do y'all have any other questions you would like to ask Andrew um, about the product or about any part of how it's made or what? There's a gazillion different questions you can ask. I'm just looking. Nope, a beautiful butterfly says very affordable and definitely works. Oh yeah, most definitely.
Beautiful Butterfly should drop us an email at info@andro-niki.com and
Share your thoughts.
share your experience with us. And I don't know, maybe up for a YouTube show of some description if we get started on that. I
There
look
you
forward.
go.
I look
There
forward
you
to
go.
hearing from you, beautiful butterfly.
Absolutely. Well, we've been at this right just under an hour and a half, and so my bladder wants to burst. So
Thank you so much, Sherry. Thank you so much for
it
having me.
only holds so long anymore. Um,
I hear you. I hear you.
but
But it's
it's a
been a real
bitch getting
pleasure.
old.
It's
Thank you
been
again for coming on. Thank you
it's
for your
been a real
wonderful
pleasure
product. I
and an
really,
honor,
really
really.
do love it. And thank all of y'all for coming on and sharing your thoughts and asking your questions. And maybe in another month or two, we get Andrew to come back in and tell us about the new stuff and the
Would
infrared
love to.
stuff.
Would
And
love to.
keep us, we can kind of be like ahead of the game when it comes to what everybody's looking for. We can be like, oh yeah, I know what's coming. You wanna stick
Yeah,
close to this. So
I could do sneak
um,
peeks. I could do sneak peeks of new product on your show that nobody else will know about.
absolutely,
Could
you
do that
got that
easily.
one.
Easily.
Absolutely.
Would love to do.
Um, Thank y'all very much for spending your afternoon. I will be back at 5 o'clock Central Time. I'll be on Heather's channel. I'm going to be a guest on her channel, and it's by Broom and something. I forget the rest of it. She changed her channel name, and I don't remember the new name.
Oh,
I remember it's got broom in it, and there's no bed knobs with it, just the broom. Um, Guess you have to be our age to know what the hell that means, but um, and then of course tonight's a slumber party, so y'all
very
come and
exciting.
hang out Saturday night. You can get your naughty card or your nice card, depending what your mood is. And
Your
Scott
slumber parties are
Scorpio Sun
notorious.
Tarot. I'm sorry, say it again.
Your slumber parties are notorious, by the way.
So I'm learning.
Yes, I hear
I
about them all
love
the
doing them,
time.
and they were born out of the fact that I was sitting around one Saturday night, bored out of my mind, and I didn't see anybody online that was live. And I was like, well, hell, I'll go on and see if anybody else is awake. And that's kind of how it started. And I did it again, and then I did it again. And then everybody's like, you got to do this every week. And I thought, well, okay, nobody's really on later at night. So if you got Bonbon, she can come say goodbye to everybody. This is our newest little baby. This is our Bonbon.
So
And she is 9 weeks old now. So, um, and is spoiled rotten
bad.
through and through. And
Gorgeous.
and
Gorgeous.
little Miss Bonnie, she hops and pounces and bounces all over the place. So, okay, go back to your daddy. I gotta click buttons, and I can't do it with a handful of cats. And thank you very much, Andrew, for spending your
Thank you,
afternoon with
Sherry.
us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. And I will talk to everybody later and later. 2 more shots to grab me today. Tomorrow I get to sleep and and do laundry. Yay! Um, y'all have a great afternoon. Enjoy the rest of the holiday weekend. If you're in the U.S., it's Labor Day weekend, so a lot of us will be laboring on Labor Day weekend. But it's the thought that counts, I guess. So, bye for now, everyone.